Chapter 1: The Unseen Housing Crisis. Have you ever wondered why so many people are struggling to afford a home in today's world, despite working tirelessly? There's a silent crisis unfolding right under our noses, hidden in plain sight, yet affecting millions of individuals and families. It's the housing affordability crisis. Picture this: the cost of housing has been skyrocketing, going through the roof, if you will. Meanwhile, wages, well, they've been crawling, barely keeping up with inflation. The gap between income and housing costs is widening, creating a chasm that many find difficult to navigate. It's like standing on one cliff edge, your dream home on the other, and in between, there's this vast, yawning gap. And that gap, my friends, is the unseen housing crisis. In many places, the cost of housing has outpaced income growth by a significant margin. Think about it. The cost of rent, for instance, has increased by more than 50%. In the past 2 decades, while average wages have seen a mere 20% rise. It's like being in a race where your opponent is on a motorbike and you're on foot. This crisis doesn't discriminate. It affects individuals and families across the spectrum. From fresh college graduates and young families to hard-working middle-aged folks and even retirees. It's a crisis that's been quietly building, fueled by factors like population growth, limited housing supply, and economic changes. But here's the thing. As daunting as this crisis may seem, it's not insurmountable. Despite these overwhelming odds, many have managed to find a way. They've discovered innovative solutions, adopted practical financial strategies, and tapped into housing assistance programs. They've navigated this crisis, often with a little help from their communities. Despite these challenges, many have found innovative ways to navigate this crisis. Let's hear their stories. In the end, it's not just about securing a roof over your head. It's about achieving the dream of having a place to call home, and the satisfaction, stability, and security that comes with it. Because in the face of adversity, the human spirit remains undeterred. Chapter 2: Stories of Success. Meet Jane and John, 2 individuals who have successfully navigated the housing affordability crisis. Let's delve into their stories and draw inspiration from their resilience, resourcefulness, and determination. Jane, a single mother of 2, found herself in the throes of the housing crisis. The rent was skyrocketing, and her monthly budget was stretched to its limits. But Jane, with her indomitable spirit, refused to give in. She started exploring her options, and this led her to a local housing assistance program. With their help, she developed a robust budgeting strategy that allowed her to manage her finances better. Jane began to save, little by little, each month. It was a challenging journey, but her perseverance paid off. Today, Jane and her children live in a comfortable home that she can afford. On the other hand, we have John. Fresh out of college, John was enthusiastic to start his new job in the city. However, the high rent prices were a harsh reality check. He was on the verge of giving up when he decided to think outside the box. John chose to house share with a couple of his colleagues, splitting the rent and utilities. This decision, although challenging at first, eased his financial burden significantly. Over time, John was able to save enough to move into his own apartment. His story is a testament to the power of innovative thinking and adaptability. Jane and John faced different challenges, but they both showcased the same kind of grit and determination. Their strategies were unique to their situations, reminding us that there is no one-size-fits-all solution to the housing crisis. What is common, however, is the need for a proactive approach, a willingness to explore all available options, and the courage to keep going, even when the odds seem stacked against you. Their journeys remind us that with the right approach, it's possible to overcome even the most daunting housing challenges. Chapter 3: Making Housing Affordable. What can we learn from Jane and John's experiences? Here are some practical tips for making housing more affordable. First, let's talk about budgeting. It's not the most exciting topic, but it's essential. Understand where your money goes each month. Make a list of your monthly expenses, from groceries to utilities to transportation. Then prioritize. What are the must-haves? What are the nice-to-haves? Where can you cut back? The key here is to strike a balance between living expenses and savings. Every penny saved is a penny closer to your housing goal. Next, consider your housing options. Renting, buying, both have their pros and cons. Renting may offer more flexibility, while buying can be an investment for the future. If you're renting, look for ways to save. Maybe it's negotiating a lower rent or finding a roommate to share costs. If you're buying, start by saving for a down payment. Remember, the larger the down payment, the lower the monthly mortgage. Now, let's talk about housing assistance programs. There's a common misconception that these are only for the destitute. That's not true. There are programs available for a range of incomes, from low to moderate. These can help with everything from rent assistance to homeownership programs. Don't be shy about seeking help. These programs exist to support folks like you and me in achieving our housing dreams. Also, don't overlook the power of community. Maybe it's a local housing cooperative or a neighborhood where residents look out for each other. Community support can provide both emotional and practical benefits. It can help make housing more affordable and enjoyable. Lastly, remember that change doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey. It may involve making sacrifices, facing setbacks, and celebrating victories. But every small step, every penny saved, every hour spent researching housing options brings you closer to your goal. Remember, every small step brings you closer to your goal of affordable housing. Chapter 4: Navigating the housing market. To further understand how to navigate the housing market, let's hear from housing expert Dr. Smith. Dr. Smith's insights into housing affordability are invaluable. He starts by stressing the importance of understanding the housing market. According to him, it's not enough to find a house you love and can afford. You also need to comprehend the market trends, the demand and supply dynamics, and the potential for future value. This knowledge helps you make informed decisions and prevents you from falling into the trap of overpaying or buying in an area with little growth potential. He goes on to emphasize the importance of responsible financial strategies. Owning a home is more than just paying the mortgage, he says. It includes property taxes, insurance, maintenance, and unexpected repairs. Therefore, budgeting is crucial. He advises setting aside a portion of your income for these expenses and not just focusing on the mortgage payments. This approach prevents you from being caught off guard by unforeseen costs. Dr. Smith also highlights the importance of seeking assistance when needed. There's no shame in asking for help, he reassures. Many programs offer assistance with down payments, property taxes, and mortgage payments. These programs are designed to help you get on your feet and sustain your homeownership journey. Taking advantage of these resources doesn't mean you failed. It means you're resourceful and committed to achieving your housing goals. Lastly, Dr. Smith encourages everyone to stay patient and persistent. The housing market can be unpredictable and, at times, unforgiving. But with the right mindset, responsible financial strategies, and the willingness to seek assistance when needed, navigating the housing market becomes less daunting. Remember, owning a home is an investment in your future. It's not just about having a roof over your head. It's about building wealth, creating stability, and contributing to your community. These expert insights can provide a roadmap for navigating the housing affordability crisis. Chapter 5. You're not alone. Navigating the housing affordability crisis is challenging, but remember, you're not alone. In this journey, community is our strongest ally. It's in the shared stories, the swapped tips, the mutual encouragement where we find strength to face the challenges of housing affordability. We're all in this together, learning, growing, and supporting one another. Let's talk about the power of community. It's not just about being in the same boat, it's about rowing together. When we share resources, we multiply our opportunities. When we share our experiences, we illuminate the path for others. When we share our triumphs and setbacks, we foster resilience and hope. Consider this: every piece of advice, every resource shared, every story told, could be the difference between frustration and finding a home. The beauty of community is that it's reciprocal. The more we give, the more we receive. So, let's start a conversation. What's your story? What are your tips for finding suitable housing? What questions do you have? The comments section below is more than just a place to express your thoughts. It's a platform to share, to learn, and to connect. It's a space where we can grow together, sharing our collective wisdom to overcome the housing affordability crisis. And remember, it's okay to seek help. There are countless housing assistance programs out there, designed to provide support when you need it most. It's not a sign of weakness, but rather a sign of strength to acknowledge when you need a helping hand. To summarize, we are a team, a collective, a community. Our strength lies not in our individual abilities, but in our collective resilience. By sharing our experiences, our resources, and our wisdom, we empower each other to navigate the housing market with more confidence and optimism. And finally, let's remember the power of positivity. Even in the face of adversity, let's keep our spirits high and our resolve strong. After all, every challenge is an opportunity in disguise. Together, we can create a supportive community that empowers each of us to overcome the housing affordability crisis.